once before. This is not necessary to deorbit as we are on a suborbital trajectory, but this is essentially a chance to test out what we need to be able to do a deorbit work. So we'll be doing that a little bit later in the flight, about 37 minutes or so into the flight.
Just ice.
And then re-entry. Looking to get that light show and, more importantly, get that really critical data about the ship's shape.
Yeah, exactly. In about T plus 45 minutes, we'll be heading for re-entry. Again, running those experiments with the tiles. We're going to be doing missing tiles, metallic tiles, and also intentionally loading those vehicles' flaps. Hopefully we'll also see a splashdown in the Indian Ocean today.
Yeah, we were able to get to a re-entry last time, but we didn't have full attitude control, so we weren't able to go in, heat shield first the way we were designed to. So we ended up losing contact with the ship before we could make it all the way through.
That looks nice.
So you still get data, but you're not really getting the data that we want to make sure we're kind of stress testing the vehicle. There's advantages that we removed a bunch of tiles, and we do this in some intentionally scary places on the vehicle because we're really looking, are there spots that were vulnerable to this before we ever start moving towards putting ship into a full orbital mission to then do re-entries a little bit later on. So really critical to get that data, really looking forward to a controlled re-entry.
This is the coolest thing I've
As
ever
we always
seen.
say, our main payload is data, but today we also have some actual payload on board, and those simulators
I'm gonna stop
that
and
Starship
see if
will
I
be
can capture a
deploying,
photo.
we'll see coming
That's
up
so
here in
cool.
just a few minutes. These are dummy satellites that are about the same size as our V3 Starlinks. We have 8 in the Starship Pez dispenser and expect to deploy at a rate of about 1 per minute, as Dan mentioned earlier. Starlink is critical in all of our flights on Starship to get our main payload data, as we always say. And in fact, it's Starlink that's currently providing these views you see as Starship cruises a couple hundred kilometers above our home planet, and provides real-time telemetry through every phase of the flight.
Wow.
Yeah, we took a peek inside of the Starship payload
Perspective shot.
for a second, so there's 8 of them there.
Can't see it
Just
anymore.
big steel plates, essentially, roughly the same size as those V3 satellites. When we do get that view inside of the payload bay, the payload door will kind of be on your right, and we'll start to see them.
Gone. All right, so the current time,
Yeah, here's a look inside.
Um,
So those right down
noting
there
that
in
the
center,
speed has
they're kind
at
of
least
two
a
stacks of
14-second
four
delay.
on either side, and then the payload door is
we're
just to
currently
their
at
right. And so we'll look to see that open, and
plus
then those satellites start to go.
14
We actually
minutes,
vent
41
the nose
seconds.
cones, so we essentially bring it down to
so
vacuum
more like
before we
15
open
minutes,
the door.
20
That was
seconds.
one of the things we ran into
That's
on the
pretty
last
awesome.
flight.